and everything.
Let me tell you something about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is a staple in the black culture. If you have not seen any episode of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you're bugging.
You can't because that was neck and neck with Fresh Prince to the point where I didn't know who to watch. I had to do rock, paper, scissors with my brother in the house.
Look,
he was older and I didn't give a damn. But I had to do rock, paper, scissors, and I was bigger, so normally I would win. And I called on my mother if I couldn't get my way. But Martin always played in the house. That's why he said, "Here I come back again."
Yes.
They tried to shut it down.
I'm saying? Listen, I want you to understand that the Jamie Foxx show was only supposed to be probably like 1 or 2 seasons.
She was a lawyer.
Claire Huxtable, yes, sir.
She was a lawyer.
She was a lawyer.
And she was a stable for black women on how to treat men.
Ooh.
You remember when she had that conversation with her sister? With her daughter, excuse me. And she said, "Oh, no."
Don't nobody ever talk about Martin being Shanae. Don't nobody look at Martin as non-binary or any other sexual orientation other than him being a man wearing the dookie braids in the air. What's good, y'all? Welcome to America's favorite underrated debate show. Call it how I see it. I'm your host, Shotime SP, the fly on the wall in the middle of it all.
And I'm your host, T-Reid, the king, ruler of everything. But we can talk about anything. Speaking of talking about everything, I need you to leg drop that like button. Also need you to subscribe to Call It How I See It show that you can find on YouTube and any other platforms on your podcast.
T-Reid, how you doing, my brother?
Man, any better I couldn't stand it. How you making it?
Man, I can't complain too much. If I did, you already know they gonna talk about me. But before they talk about me, I'd rather them talk about this show. You know it's Black History Month, right?
Last time I checked.
I really feel like because it's Black History Month, we gotta go ahead and do our due diligence and appreciate certain black things in our culture. You understand what I'm saying? But since it's calling it how we see it, you know, they do the movies. No, let's do the sitcoms. T-Reid, let's pay a tribute to our favorite black sitcoms. Go ahead, you could start it off. Give me one of your favorites.
Let's do it. One of my favorites, believe it or not, is Sister Sister. I know it's kind of hard for y'all to believe a big stocky man like myself that's coming from Hollywood that would like Sister Sister, but Sister Sister was a great, beautiful, awesome show. Matter of fact, it had a lot of cameos. You know, Tyrese Gibson, Sherman Helmsley, Lisa Leslie, Kel Mitchell, Brittany Murphy, the late and great Brittany Murphy. May she rest in peace.
Definitely was one of the friends.
The Olsen twins. It was in 6 seasons, and it had 112 episodes.
Well, actually, from what I'm understanding, it was 119 of them. 7 of them, you know what I mean, got shelved.
They was lost in
or some of them was a little canceled or not really, you know, and that necessarily at that point.
They did them wrong, huh?
But yeah, shout out to the Past Entertainment because they were the ones that threw that. That for some reason that show, I can understand why a lot of people might have not liked the show because it was about twins and you couldn't relate, but it still was the family aspect too. You know, you had the sisters that were separated at birth, and literally each parent was one was a mom, one was a dad. They're giving you 2 different styles of parenting, and then they come together to do it in one big household. Man, that show was amazing, man.
Absolutely.
Any other favorite parts of that show that you want to touch on?
You know, I like the story. I believe that the story to this day makes sense.
Really?
I mean, you have a lot of people that are either being misplaced at birth, allegedly, or they're giving up children at birth, whether it's too immature for them to be parents or not. But the fact of the matter is that this type of stuff happens more than what we know.
Yeah, look, I understand that subject matter, but if we really want to be honest here, I like to go for like that linear, you know, how much did they jump the shark? And I feel like they didn't jump the shark. By the way, jumping the shark means if there's a premise for one show, jumping the shark means it has nothing to do with the regular premise of where this show is going. We will talk about one of those shows that have completely jumped the shark, but we'll get into that later. The reason why I'm saying that is for right now is we met them when they were young. They were around the 14, 15-year-old age, so they had to come together and they had to go through high school. But after high school, they had that, you know, the college experience. But I feel like they kind of didn't really have any other thing other than their twin thing. They already, you know, overplayed the swapping. If this is the test, we're gonna have this sister do this test. They had to bring in the younger talent, which was Roger. So shout out to Marcus Houston for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Roger being the one who was crushing on them both, but he kind of didn't really have any lasting effect. And the last thing that I really, the bigger gripe that I had with the show is it really didn't end the way, you know, like it wasn't an ending for the sisters. It was really the ending for Lisa. Because if I'm not mistaken, the last episode, it was the marriage for Lisa. But when it comes to, you know, family orientations, if I talk about like the cohesive family, I know what you think I'm going to say, but the one that I'm going to get to before I get to the one that you think I'm going to say, we want to talk about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh my goodness, I thought you was talking about. But go ahead.
Yeah, I knew you was. I knew that. That's why I like to do that. I like to pivot.
My shoulders was flexing. I was leaning forward and everything.
Let me tell you something about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is a staple in the black culture. If you have not seen any episode of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you're bugging. I don't even want to judge your hue of your color, but I'm just saying this is Will Smith's coming out party of him actually showing, hey, you know, I could do more than rap. How you feel about Fresh Prince?
Well, not only that, man. I mean, the longevity of the show. I mean, 6 seasons, 148 episodes, all the cameos out the wazoo. And that was the fact that Quincy Jones, Quincy Jones came to Will Smith and asked him, "Hey, what do you think about TV?" And at the time, you know, rappers weren't acting as much. You know what I mean? What you had, MC Hammer?
Yeah,
Ice?
I think it was just there wasn't no rappers that was like
no
complete
rappers
actors
doing it. But Will Smith knocked it out the park. I mean, of course, he's a megastar to this day. But the fact that before all of that, he was lacing up his Jordans and doing the Running Man in Lisa's room.
Yeah, that's very true.
Iconic.
Now, what I can also tell you that the reason why I love this show, because we're gonna talk about cameos, right?
Oh, we're
gonna talk about cameos. Yeah. Every single one of the love interests that Will Smith had or that Will character had are considered, you know, top notch.
Top notch now.
Top notch. I mean, we talking about Nia Long here, okay? Yeah. That was that was Lisa. You get what I'm saying? Right. But let's not forget about Jasmine Guy. Yeah. Jasmine Guy was the one that was the first one to throw the snaps back and forth. Remember when Vivica Fox was doing all of that? You can't talk to me like that.
I do remember that. I do remember that.
Man, let me tell you, not only that, they even gave Queen Latifah that type of love or that light deal, because they was like, yeah, stop disrespecting the big girls. Big girls need love too. Well, this girl right here is one of the ones that was friend zoned, but yet she was still one of them ones on that show. I gotta give that show some love for the cameos.
That, man. I mean, do you remember Tisha Campbell, Jennifer Martin, when they was trapped in the kitchen on prom?
That was real. They was in the basement with him.
Absolutely.
He really saw the true colors of that woman, and that's a life lesson.
Listen, man. She said you can use your nails. Why don't you use your nails? She popped off every one of
them
and handed it to him. Handed it to him.
Yo. Man. Now, if we're gonna talk about the elephant in the room, you know,
let's talk about.
Aunt Viv switched.
Did she?
Yeah. I mean, you know, Aunt Viv definitely switched. I also like the fact that there was a big switch in the character, and it still got addressed, even though, you know, it's of lighter, or a distaste now. But I did like it when Jazz said, you know what, Aunt Viv, it's something. It look a little different. Something a little different about you. I can't pinpoint it. I can't fingerprint it. And the last thing that I'm gonna put on it.
Talk to me.
Storyline wise, right? I mean, Will came. He got into a fight and his mom got scared. And
Absolutely.
When he went to auntie and uncle in Bel-Air. Was that the theme song?
That's the theme song.
Fire theme song. Can we not add that into there?
Absolutely.
But story wise, he came from Bel-Air. I mean, he came from Philadelphia and he made it to Bel-Air. He even had a choice in one of the seasons to stay at home.
Right.
And he said, no, I'm gonna come back home back.
Right.
So far as him growing up in Bel-Air and him coming of age, it was great.
Yeah.
But that last episode, you just see him in that apartment. I mean, or in that room leaving. Everybody else was moving on to bigger and better things. You never really knew what Will was doing. You know, cohesion is my problem, man. T-Reid, you got anything else on the show?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to speak on the fact that he was standing by himself, and he does stand alone to this day. Box office hits. Ooh. You know, that was a metaphor. Box office hits, storylines, movies, iconic characters, everything of that nature.
Is that a cultural impact?
Cultural impact, indeed. And the fact that, you know, that story makes sense to this day, because how many of us sent their cousin off or their nephew off or their sons off for better education, better opportunity, and better sports? Listen,
I appreciate my father. I used to not like my father's decision, you know, when he moved us from the hood to a better neighborhood. Now, granted, I was already in college at this time, you know, so I already knew I was in the trenches. But I had a little bit of disdain for being in this area. But let me tell you something. I think one of the best decisions that was made is that I got out. Oh, yeah. And that was one of the best decisions for Fresh Prince, man.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. T-Reid, it's up on you, man. Go ahead, give me a show, man. What's a black sitcom that you loving?
The black sitcom that I love, that I'm gonna talk about, that I'm gonna jump the gun on. Speaking of family ties, family situation, family stories. How about Family Matters?
Ooh, you know what? Family does matter.
It
You know
sure
what I'm
does.
saying?
It sure does.
How you
man.
feeling about that Family Matters, man?
Well, listen, man. I mean, the Family Matters episodes were so iconic. It was 9 seasons and 215. 215. You know about 215, don't you? You know about 215
all day.
215.
All day.
215 episodes. If you didn't watch Family Matters, you were absolutely crazy.
Listen.
Absolutely nuts. You have lost your marbles. And the fact that this was a spinoff of Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers,
because Harriet was working as an elevator
She was
tech.
elevator lady. Sure was.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
not only that, man. You also got to look at the Miller Boyette company because for some reason, like certain things.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that Miller Boyette popping up, but you know what? I also remember. Listen, it's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. Love and Condition is the brand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. Why is it that I know this theme song?
Because it was embedded in our bloodstream.
Come on, man. Listen, and then for some reason, cameraman, go ahead, get me on the look because I love it when they throw my name at the bottom and all of a sudden you get the.
Hey.
You gotta have a smile. Something's happening.
There you go.
Man, listen, that's all in the theme song.
That's all in the theme song.
But if I got a nitpick.
Talk to me.
Now, you are absolutely right. 215 episodes. And with 215 episodes, you are going to do what the industry likes to call jumping the shark. See, jumping the shark means that it is the premise that starts off one way, and then one of these episodes or two of these episodes or 4 or 5 of these episodes or maybe in the whole season, we're somewhere where we not in Kansas no more. You know, Family Matters started off with just a little family. You know, a little grandma was there.
Yeah.
You had the auntie, you had Richie there. You know what I'm saying? It was just a family, wholesome environment. But it just got a little bit melancholy. It got a little bit dry. I mean, Eddie wasn't the street hustling kid.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
he wasn't.
Laura wasn't out on the block. You know, she wasn't.
No.
You know,
she wasn't
like,
about them streets.
And cop was Carl was a cop.
He was just a cop.
He was just a cop. We never saw no cases.
No.
We ain't seen no issues that he had to go through. You know what I'm saying? Carl ain't never get shot on the job.
He sure did. He sure did.
But what happened was they had that Laura was coming of age, so they needed Laura to go on a date. But apparently she had a decision of 2 dates, one of which was selected by her father. And literally, we have brought in the reason why the show jumped from 1 season to 9 seasons. And that's gonna be Jaleel White with Urkel.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had to be the reason or that jumping off point, and he's the reason why they had to jump the shark. The reason why I mentioned the jumping of the shark is now that this show is no longer a wholesome family environment. I mean, we're going back in time. We have a transformation chamber.
Oh yeah.
What is the transformation chamber about
that transformation chamber?
Go ahead, talk about
was
it.
the fact that he went from Steve Urkel to Stefan Urkel.
I know there's a message in there somewhere. T-Reid, is there a message you want to throw in there?
Hey, listen, man. The fact that sometimes you got to hop in that chamber to let people know who you really are.
Woo!
A lot of people want to say, "Hey, money changed you." No, money let me know who I really am. Case in point, I got the stunner shades on. I came from Hollywood.
That's the ruler's thought right there. For if you know what I'm saying, sometimes you gotta hop into the chamber because you not yourself.
Yeah,
and then you get in this chamber, come out somebody different. Now it was the calm, cooler, and collected. Now so we had the transformation chamber. Absolutely. Okay, that's cool, right? But then he also had the teleportation device that sent them to Disneyland and then got them to propose to Laura.
Yeah. After he'd been chasing, you know what?
Go ahead.
I wasn't going to go here.
Yeah, let's go there.
But let me know what y'all think in the comments because Laura gave Urkel the Forrest Gump effect. She was Gen A, minus all the ailments and everything of that nature, which is going to be on another show. But the fact of the matter is that man chased her until his feet bled. He created a machine just to get her attention. What type of love? Does that love even last anymore?
Listen, today's episode is brought to you by Hauler's Haven, revolutionizing the truck driver's experience at every stop. Make sure you follow the website at haulershaven.com and follow on all social media platforms. And make sure you use that hashtag Safe Stops Ahead. Look,
going above and beyond.
Listen, nobody's outside crying in the window while his woman is out on a date. Nobody's in that trench coat crying with the rain falling down. All right, nobody. No, that's not happening no more. Today's it has changed.
It has.
The chase has now. I guess from in the past, that was cool. You were supposed to have somebody chasing you. There was the nerd that was trying to get the girl.
It was.
But eventually he got the girl. Yeah. Right?
Eventually
but, nowadays they would be calling Steve Urkel what? Like a simp?
Yeah, call him a simp.
All
and
types
my thing of it is, I mean, a grown man is showing a woman how much he loves her, how much he wants to be a part of her life, how much he will do any and everything just to make sure that she smiles.
Gave him more nicknames than anything.
I will simply say that y'all are crazy.
Ooh.
Talk to me.
T-Reid, you are on fire, sir. Now, if I have to, we already talked about Family Matters, and we had to, we talked about the theme song and the cultural impact and stuff like that, how they jumped the shark. Yeah. I believe that we did tackle all of the Family Matters. You get what I'm saying? And it's funny. Just a quick question for you.
Talk to me.
You talked about Laura, but if I'm not mistaken, off camera, your number one crush was on Family Matters. Am I not?
It sure was.
Who was your number one crush?
This woman, her name was Myra. You want to know why I liked Myra?
Why did you like Myra?
Because Urkel didn't have to go above and beyond to get Myra's attention. Myra realized what type of man he was and is.
Or the man.
She realized that he was smart. She realized that he was brilliant. She realized I need to be a part of this man's life because we can build a legacy together.
I feel you on all that, but Myra was also crazy. She was a little bit too in love with the man. You know what I mean? She chased him down. For God's sakes, when he finally got to her room, the whole room was just pictures of him on the wall.
Beautiful. Who don't want that?
It's a little creepy.
Who don't want that?
When they broke up, she had footage of him, like literally surveillance footage from his glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, come on here.
Is it crazy?
It's a woman
that's
crazy.
You.
It's crazy.
Let me just invade this party real fast. Is it crazy for a woman to show interest in a man nowadays? Isn't that what the game's missing right now?
Apparently it is.
A woman, a woman that is showing you interest, a woman that has pictures of you from start to finish. I mean, some would say that I'll be flattered by that.
It's a little wild.
I will be flattered. Man. Let a woman come to me and say, I got a picture of you when you was 14. I don't know nobody got that but my mama.
Man, look, I'm going to be honest with you.
Talk to me.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel that, but I do love the fact it's the chasing of the girl. So, so the fact that Urkel chased Laura for so long and he actually did get the girl. Now, did it take, I feel you. From season 1 all the way up until season 9.
Come on.
He finally, gets the girl and marries the girl within the last season. I can't get with that. But you know what I can get with?
Talk to me.
This is going to bring me to my next segment, which is going to be my favorite show. This is one of my favorite black sitcoms, period, hands down. And I got 3 reasons why. But the name of the show is The Jamie Foxx Show.
Oh, here I come, here I come, here I come.
Tonight's the night you can check out my flow. The theme song was
Gotta get it started.
You know what to do.
Here
I
comes
can
Jamie
make you
Foxx.
love me. Come on, man.
Yeah, like you want me to.
Let's talk about Jamie Foxx Show, okay? Jamie Foxx Show wasn't even supposed to be a show that lasted as long as it did.
That's why he said, here I come back again.
Yes.
They tried to shut it down.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, I want you to understand that the Jamie Foxx Show was only supposed to be probably like 1 or 2 seasons. But it got so good. And you know why it got so good? Because of the talent of the person that the show is named after.
Jamie Foxx is a bad man.
Jamie Foxx can not only be an actor.
Yes.
He can not only be a comedian.
Yes.
He can also sing.
These
are all the things that he can also incorporate into his show.
Absolutely.
Hey, what is the premise of the show? Hey, my name is Jamie Foxx. I'm an aspiring actor.
That's it.
But I also can sing.
Absolutely.
And there's other facets that I want to do. But hold on, wait a minute. Who is that at the desk? Fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy, who of which is my childhood crush. That's man, I love me some Garcelle Bouveau. What?
Get out of here.
The legs, the look, the way she stood like a model, and she looked like a model.
Yeah,
but I will
listen.
I will throw in a couple of facts that it must have been cold in that studio. It was cold in that studio a lot. A lot.
You seen the chill on the glass?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely.
You seen the chill on the glass?
Yeah, for sure. But another reason why I throw the Jamie Foxx Show in there and I throw Fancy in there too is because Jamie was on the girl. Yeah. He gets the girl. And he gets the girl like maybe into season 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. He gets the girl. They break up. The last episode of the whole series is the wedding.
Is the wedding.
Is the damn wedding. And not only
not Jamie Foxx's wedding.
Yes, sir. It was the wedding too. Fancy. Yes, sir.
Oh, you're not talking about the wedding before that.
What wedding before that?
She was getting married to a guy with the deep voice.
You
Remember?
Silas. You talking about Silas?
Yeah. There you go.
Now they didn't get married though. That he did propose, and they was going to elope and all of that.
Yeah,
he broke that up too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like he
leg dropped that.
You get what I'm saying here is why Jamie
jumped
Foxx
in between the ropes and interrupted that 3 count, didn't he?
Listen, I remember when Silas proposed to Fancy. Jamie had a whole fit that knocked over everything. So y'all want some water? Y'all want to get something to drink?
Right.
The next episode, the continuity in that show was so good too, because Braxton asked Jamie, he said, "Hey Jamie, what are you wearing to the wedding?" He said, "Oh, there's not going to be a wedding.
There you go.
There's not going to be one."
He used the power of manifestation.
Ooh. Man, and if we talk about cultural impact,
oh yeah,
there is different things that the Jamie Foxx show that they was throwing in there that when he did it, it was just as good. Because Martin is always going to get that look. Martin will always get that love.
Absolutely.
The many faces of Martin.
Yeah.
But I did love Jamie Foxx's Enrique.
Oh yeah.
I did love the fact that he could jump into different pockets and how he would disguise himself. Then there's another thing that he had in this show, talk about I got a plan.
Yeah.
The I got a plan always was a part that was a harebrained scheme. They just kept throwing in different things in this show. That's why it's just my personal favorite. It ain't got to be your personal favorite, but in the comment section below, if I'm really speaking some facts, go ahead and throw that fire emoji in there, man.
Yeah, I also like the fact that Jamie Foxx had disguised. Another reason why, another way he was trying to get fancy was to get a contract so we can take care of her. Because she was talking about how you ain't had no money. You work with me. We in a hotel.
We in here together.
We splitting checks.
Actually, I get more money than you.
Because I've been there before you got here. But the fact that he dressed up as Busta Rhymes, the fact that he came into the session that
was it at the Puffy Combs concert?
There you go.
Rah. Yo, but now cameos.
Yeah. He had a bunch of them.
He did the Busta Rhymes. Now pop quiz. This is not even a who knows. This is I want to know. Do you know?
Talk to me.
What studio session did he disguise as Busta Rhymes? Whose studio session did he go up in there and tear up?
Oh, that was Jodeci.
Ooh,
that was Jodeci.
KC and JoJo.
That was Jodeci.
They said let him sing.
Yeah.
Let him sing. So now
that was her. That was Fancy. The one that claimed that she was going to move on. The one that said that she wasn't going to marry him. She didn't want nothing to do with him. But the fact that he came into that back door, the fact that he had the Chinese clogs.
Let him sing.
The rah, rah, rah. Ooh. When he came up in there. And man, he sang that Stevie Wonder song. Whew. Good God, thy mighty.
Listen, if I, you know what I mean?
If he can't do nothing else, that man can sing, boy.
I would hit that.
Oh, my goodness.
Hit that note randomly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Every time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to let you know that that's what happens.
I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to listen. I'm going to need you to moonwalk on that one. Hit me with that again. What was that?
Listen. You know what I'm saying?
Man of many talents,
I'm a man of many wishes.
Stop it, man.
I hold my premonition, missus.
I'm keep my shoes on.
But what it really is,
sweating now.
my eyes won't be to hide, because they always start to cry. Let me tell you something.
And Jodeci
said,
let
that man in the building.
Sign him.
Let that man cook.
Sign him.
Now, granted, the second season, the season afterwards, he definitely took the show and he messed that up. But anyway, man, I really enjoyed that show. Y'all got me hot, man. T-Reid, next up is on you, man.
Listen, man.
Give me another show that you appreciate in the black sitcom world.
Just like you intended to do, I'm going to say it 3 times. What's up? What's up? What's up? Martin.
Listen, man.
I'm the man. Oh.
You can't not talk about this show.
You can't because that was neck and neck with Fresh Prince to the point where I didn't know who to watch. I had to do rock, paper, scissors with my brother in the house.
Look.
He was older and I didn't give a damn. But I had to do rock, paper, scissors and I was bigger, so normally I would win. And I called on my mother if I couldn't get my way. But Martin always played in the house. In the Christian home of the Reed's residence.
Listen, I'm not mad at that.
Talk to me.
So the fact that you might be a little older than me, so it's the fact that
so?
you are a little older than me.
Is it the close?
You definitely look like you came off the Cabana or went at the Tom Joyner cruise. I want to know that. But
get him on camera. Get him on camera.
But what I will tell you is when it came to Martin, I was a little late in the game. So Martin always showed up as a rerun for me. So I don't know. So I would like for you to tell me, what was that experience making that decision when primetime came around? Is you had to watch Martin or you had to watch Fresh Prince?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that Martin was in his hotel, that Martin was in Detroit, Martin was a radio host.
Yeah.
Martin already had Gina. Now at the time, Gina in the beginning, Gina had her own apartment.
Yeah, she did.
She had her own apartment, and she was sharing it with Pam, Gina Arnold.
Yes.
Which
Woo!
you know where I'm going with it.
Listen,
you know where I'm going with
it. Pam.
Wrong with something else.
Yams.
I mean,
is what I called it.
Hey,
I called it yam.
Just like Jamie Foxx was a threat. Pam was a threat too. She can act, she can sing, she can deliver, and she can look good. That's
she
4.
She snapped with the best of them too.
Man, with
when
the best of them.
When Martin barked on her,
oh, she barked back.
She barked right on.
You're magically delicious.
Listen, it's a couple. If y'all watch, I think they do the tribute show. They show you a couple times where Martin has to break character.
Yeah,
what you don't know. Fun fact: in most of these live audience shows, if they can't break character while it's going on because they rolling, so they'll do a nice little turn away.
Right.
Get that breath in. Man, let me tell you, Pam caught Martin with a few of those.
Listen, man, Miss BDB let him have it.
Yes, sir.
Let him have it.
Let's talk about cameos.
She emphasized on his shorts.
Let's talk about...
Yeah, listen, Biggie Smalls, one of my favorite MCs of all time. Yeah.
He's in your top 5.
Put the back in the back.
He's not in mine, but he's in your top 5.
How dare you?
I just want to give a little continuity. I just want to let these people know that we're still here.
We're paying tribute. This is still the best underrated.
You say Biggie on the cameo?
Yeah, Biggie was on the cameo, and the fact that he knew who Martin was, and Martin was such a well-known name, it was handshakes and love when he seen Biggie Smalls. Now, when I seen Biggie Smalls,
Okay, no, it's always daps up. It's always the dap.
It was always,
It always seemed too, when it came to whatever celebrity was on there, it seemed like Martin knew them as Martin Lawrence. He knew them as a friend, and he was like, I got this show, bring them on to the show. Because one of the one big cameos at that time, it may not mean a lot now, but at that time when Kid was on the show, when Kid was he was supposed to be that
not Kid and Play Kid.
From Kid and Play,
Really?
Remember,
Christopher Reed? That guy?
This is House Party. House Party is popping
big
at this time. It was hard to get Kid on the show.
Right.
Kid was on the show because Martin was in House Party.
Yeah, man, listen.
Show with me. When he did the Shadane, you could even look at that show and see Kid is trying his hardest to not break character, bro. You got that. I mean, now, if we want to talk about theme songs now, right? Now, Martin, the first theme song was great.
Yeah.
But and the little the animatronic, we not doing that, man. We're not doing that.
You ain't like that one?
No. Now, as far as culture,
you're right. I ain't like it either. Go ahead.
I didn't like that. Now, as far as cultural impact, another reason why I really do love this show is because it's personal to my life. Because I feel as though that me and my wife are the modern day Martin and Gina. My wife is.
I can see that.
My wife is just as specially needed as much as I am. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We match each other's energy, and it's one scene that I remember in one of the Martin shows where he was like, "You got to get it, you got to get it," and all of a sudden Gina's just like, she's back right. That's just your woman backing up your man. That gave you a cultural impact. Everybody wanted to be the modern day Martin and Gina.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that was your cohesive unit. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the fact of Martin too. Like there's too many things. That theme song after that animated thing that was cool and all that. But I mean, what we really need to talk about the core of the show.
Talk to me.
Who is your favorite Martin character? It could be Pam, Gina, but we talking about?
We talking about Martin.
Yeah, we talking about which one of Martin's characters is your favorite.
See, I like Dragonfly Jones.
Ooh, you
Dragonfly Jones, and then the fact of the matter is he was the old head that didn't have the fronts, but had the black belt, but always got beat on.
Clearly,
he got beat on like an African.
Clearly got beat up on a lot.
And the fact that his
homie,
his side
Kenji,
that was the green belt. That was the green belt that would always mop the floor with him, and I loved.
Hold on. Well, the reason why I like, I'm with you on that because I want to stay right there.
Yeah.
Dragonfly Jones is one of the most iconic characters, but Kenji don't get no love, yo.
No.
Kenji was the most gangster character, okay? Because the first thing he's doing is he's like, hey, man, he said, before we get this thing started, what's going on with my money? They about to cut my phone off. He said, well, who you talking to?
Right.
You need to be practicing y'all instead of talking on the phone. Man, listen, Kenji is my man.
Who
you got another character? Because I got another one.
Yeah. Listen, man, I got the flavorful the most impactful, the pimp himself, Jerome in the house. I said Jerome in the house. I said Jerome. Martin had a lot of.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Jerome was fly. Jerome always had money. Jerome always came to the aid of anybody that needed help.
That is also very true.
Pam was getting her car towed.
Yep.
And Gina was the person that was riding with her.
Yep.
And they didn't know who else to go to because nobody wanted to be embarrassed. So Jerome came and had that money in pocket.
I'm going to keep it all the way tall with you. Jerome is very much iconic. But you know what don't get talked about?
Who's that?
Pam gave Jerome some draws. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me, as generous as Jerome has been to junk in the trunk. Mind you, he knock on the door. All the time. You know what I'm saying? He knew Pam when when her and Gina was roommates.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that, listen, if Jerome ain't hit it, he definitely sniffed it. Now, what I will tell you is, Jerome is one of the most impactful ones, but of course we got to talk about the most impactful one. And I don't understand. Well, it's not I don't understand. I don't really care, but it's also, thrown under the bridge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no comedian is supposed to be in a dress, right? No black comedian is supposed to be in a dress. Don't nobody ever talk about Shanae, bro. Don't nobody ever talk about Martin being Shanae. Don't nobody look at Martin as the non-binary or any other sexual orientation other than him being a man wearing the dookie braids in the earring. And Martin played it well. You get what I'm saying?
He did. He dressed like salt and pepper.
That's what I'm saying. Listen.
It wasn't just the dress.
They even scrutinized Jamie Foxx about being Wanda more than they scrutinized Martin about being Shanae.
And maybe because low-key they looked at him as a woman and not as Martin.
Come on now.
I mean, that he did that good of a job.
It seems
and he
like
had the inflations.
Character.
He could sit down, he was 3 feet taller.
Each character did not look like, that's that person wearing this outfit. If I see this person dressed up, it is that character. I see Shanae. I see Old Otis. I see Dragonfly Jones. I see King Beef. Like I see, I forget the mechanic name, but don't you know no good? That's Martin too.
That's Martin too.
So when we talk about like actual full characters in that light, come on, man, you can't deny that. And last but not least, the one thing that I got to nitpick on, because I got a nitpick.
Talk to me.
King T-Reid, or T-Reid the King, however you proclaim.
Okay.
What is the last episode of Martin?
The last episode of Martin, and correct me if I'm wrong, which I know you will, was when he moved out. When he wrote L-U-V instead of L-O-V-E.
Yeah, One Love. He did. I think it's One Love.
One Love. Yeah. When he moved out that apartment, and when the fact that, correct me if I'm wrong, they were having issues on the set. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Yeah. But the fact that Gina was in one room, he was in another room.
Yeah,
that whole episode. Yeah, it was weird. Martin, Gina,
yeah.
And
they were definitely yelling
you
from the other
it was
room.
Obvious.
Yeah,
you couldn't. Yeah, that's like trying to hide a pimple on your forehead.
That's true. And
you can't walk around like this all day. You can't walk around like this all day. So the fact that I truly believe that was the last episode when he moved out.
Okay, so you're right.
Talk to me.
You are, I want to say you're about 60% correct. Yes. The last impression or that last scene was him signing the wall as he was walking out. But the reason why that last episode was there is because I believe they were moving to LA. So they gave it a cohesive ending because Martin finally made it. Yeah. Gina was already doing well in her business, but she was also moving to LA. So the grand escape was to go to LA. Now, from the beginning episode, from the first episode to the last episode, if you just put them two side by side, yes, it does seem like it was a cohesive, it seemed like it was a continuity show, like a continuous show. Right. But to be honest with you, there was no continuity to the show. There was no real storyline to the show. Like, not to be honest with you, no. Because Martin, no matter what facet of that Martin was in, he always shined in it. So when he was the radio host, he shined as a radio host. Yeah. When he did Word on the Street, he shined as the talk show host on Word on the Street. They got syndicated and they went on to LA to do the full version of the show. With Gina, never really knew what she did. She was in marketing or advertising. She was in some type of, like, her job was never one of those things where, it was crucial for her to have this.
Wasn't talked about.
But she needed to keep this job.
Yeah.
She know that Mr. Whitaker was gonna fire her if she didn't do this job or this wasn't done by that date. And we also knew the only person that got fired was actually Pam. Because remember, they was trying to do a jump off. Or spinoff for that show, because remember, because Pam was supposed to be A&R for the music,
right, and her first artist was Tyrese Gibson.
Got that right.
I remember Mr. Coca-Cola himself.
I'm singing too much.
Absolutely, yeah, I do remember. Now the fact of the matter is, and you're right about that, Gina was only known for her reunion.
Yeah.
When she came from the dentist and she looked like the Elephant Man, her hair was all over her head.
Yep.
And Pretty Ricky, what they called him, was like, oh my goodness, is that your woman or is that your walrus?
We harping a lot on this show,
yes, sir.
But I'm not mad at staying on Martin, because you are absolutely right when it comes to the character development. Yeah. And as far as Gina really didn't go anywhere. Her standout episode was that one. I would think the headboard episode too.
Yeah, it was good.
I felt like Pam had more development.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, she was a better actress.
That's true too.
Yeah, she was
but Cole and Tommy, there was no. I mean, for God's sake, we never knew what Tommy did.
I mean, but at that point, let me cut the ribbon on this new business. The fact that Tommy was the flyest uncle you've ever met, and he always had money in his pocket, and we all had an uncle like that. He was always clean.
This is true.
Bald head, smooth as silk, smooth as dolphin skin. And the fact of the matter is, nobody cared what he did, even though that was a running joke. He always had money. He never was evicted. Cole was asking for money. Yeah. Cole had a job.
What was Cole's job? He cleaned airplanes.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. That was his job. Yes, he did. He cleaned airplanes.
Because I know he had a job with Tommy at one point.
Yeah, well, you get a job at work and where I'm at.
Right.
Doing the same thing I'm doing.
There you go. And you're going to be fly as ever.
And we haven't figured out exactly what that was.
And nobody cared.
No,
I didn't.
Matter.
I didn't.
I think just to bring it on home for Martin. Martin might be one of those ones that's it's definitely up there because there was
gonna be talked about.
There was so much more to talk about.
Yeah.
We done talked about families. I like how we went through the whole family aspect.
I like that. Yeah.
I like how we brought it back to it was the single parent household. And then we had the full families with the family matters. Then you had the great power of the relationships.
Yeah.
I think that there may be nothing powerful in a relationship other than a man and a woman than a brotherly love, than a brotherly relationship.
Talk about that.
And that's why I gotta tap in on one of my personal favorite shows as well. It's gotta be the Wayans brothers.
Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
Get the camera on me. I feel as though that the Wayans don't get enough credit and they don't get enough love.
No, they don't.
Now, of course, Damon will always get that love. He's going to be heavily revered. Yeah. Keenan will always get that love, and he is heavily revered. Yes. One of the best black directors, of which we're going to have that conversation.
That's a fact.
We're going to have that talk when it's time to talk about black directors.
Yes, sir.
But when I talk about the Wayans brothers, I respect it. My older brother has always been the shining star, that light. Yeah. But I always felt like I was Marlon.
Really?
I always felt like I was Marlon and Sean.
Yeah.
I had something to prove. Marlon has so many layers. He can act really, really well. He can also he can draw that dialogue really, really well. Another thing that he does too, he can give you that emotion. That emotion that he always shows between him and Sean has always been that great dynamic, man. And so that show is always going to be one of the things that's going to be a high level of love. So that brotherly love is a thing. Now, do I kiss my brother on the cheek and stuff like that? No, but at the same time, that's what goes on their side, and it's in they dap up.
Yeah.
So that show itself was really good. Now,
not only that, I mean the fact that they ran the newsstand, they owned the newsstand last time I checked, and the fact that you want to keep it family, next door was Pops and his food, his store, the bang 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 bang. It look some would say I have his shoes. Oh wait a minute,
you got look at the white shoes.
Someone say I got his shoes on.
Look at the white shoes.
Somebody say I got
look at the white shoes. We got to talk about the elephant in the room.
Talk to me.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a few of them that are out there, but there is really only one show other than Family Matters. When we talk about family, and we talk about that whole family dynamic, that black family sitcom royalty.
What you talking about, brother?
We have to talk about, not that show. We have to talk about the Cosby Show.
Okay.
We have to talk about the Cosby Show because the Cosby Show was one of the only shows that gave us this black family is well off.
Yeah.
This black family, we ain't struggling. No. We ain't in the trenches. Ain't nobody on drugs.
Not Dr. Huxtable house.
Come on. Oh,
Not Dr. Hustable's house.
For God's sakes, we ain't even playing none of that hippity hop mess in this
we ain't
house.
doing that.
Oh, it's smooth jazz going on in this
Absolutely.
house. When we talk about sophistication, I mean, for God's sakes, the Cosby dining room table.
Oh my goodness, iconic.
If you can't remember,
a lot of discussions happened on that table.
Your grandmama house right now. If you go to your grandmama house, nana house, grandmom house, that dining room table is
sitting right
very
there.
similar to the Cosby Show.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Fresh Prince too. But the Cosby Show, that definitely gave that look, man. How you feel about the Cosby Show, man?
I like the Cosby Show. The fact that it's not too many families that dance together when it comes to opening credit. There's not too many families that sing together.
Talk about that theme song.
You know
Talk about that theme song.
And I mean, the fact that, they started out and they did the arms and they slid this way and slid that way. That's for those that think I don't move. They think I'm just a plant.
Yeah, no.
I did some movement today, y'all.
Fast,
I did some movement,
right
man.
You know what I mean?
Man. And the fact that they were breeding excellence. Correct me if I'm wrong. Felicia Rashad.
Yeah.
She was a lawyer.
Claire Huxtable, yes, sir.
She was a lawyer.
She was a lawyer.
And she was a stable for black women on how to treat men.
Ooh.
You remember when she had that conversation with her sister, with her daughter, excuse me? And she said, oh, no, I don't do what my husband tells me to do. I serve my husband because that's my husband.
Come on now.
That's my husband. Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. You
listen,
see the head roll?
Listen,
Let me tell you something.
Hold on. If we talk about black mothers.
Yes.
If we talk about black
Let's
sitcom
talk about it. Let's go there. Let's go there.
Only thing I can think about is Claire Huxtable.
Man,
listen, anytime I get out of line, I just want to hear Claire Huxtable go, shut up. And you think you got the chance to go ahead and do what you want to do, but you want to go out there and have a wild night with the wretched.
There you go.
Shut up.
That's it.
Keep cooking.
That's
T.
it. That's it.
Keep cooking. T. We talking about black moms here. We talking about black
moms.
sitcoms
We talking
here.
about black sitcoms. We talking about black moms.
The theme song, iconic. They just did the same melody, but they didn't change it up every single season. Are we going to talk about when you say that Claire Huxtable was a lawyer, right?
She was a lawyer.
I mean, what? Was Daddy on drugs? Was Cliff Huxtable on?
Listen,
Was he a fiend? Was he a hustler? Was he gambling? Was he doing?
The king of the sweaters? The king of the I got one of them. You gonna see a few.
Hold on there.
You gonna see a few.
Hold on there.
But the king of the sweaters, he was a doctor.
Say that one more time.
He was a. I'm gonna say it with grace. He was a doctor.
So if you got a doctor as a father, as a mother as a lawyer,
your kids are gonna be gems.
You have no choice but to go to college.
You have no choice.
You have no choice. You at least better do a couple years.
And let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Didn't they? Didn't they?
Only one we don't know that went or didn't go was Rudy. We don't know if Rudy went, but I'm pretty sure she did. She better have.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't speak no good English on this one. She better have.
She ought to have. She ought to have.
Denise went to college.
Denise went to college.
She married another doctor.
Another?
Come on, that's Elvin, right? Ain't that Elvin? Come on. Vanessa,
man.
as smart-mouthed as she was,
Yes,
as tight-lipped as she was, she had to go to college.
She had to.
Denise, the rebel that she was,
Yeah.
the rebel that she wanted to be.
Yeah.
Oh, she went to college.
She sure did.
We gonna talk about that too. She went to college and it was so detrimental for her to go to college. We had to see it ourselves as the black American people that wanted to see what was going on. What would that college life look like as far as a different world? We're gonna get to that too. We're gonna get to that.
But
the last point, well, not even the last point, because we gonna because I know. Yeah. We talking about the pudding man. I know you talking about the Mr. Spanish fly.
I wasn't even gonna bring that up.
Listen,
I wasn't even gonna talk about.
I mean, that's the.
I talked about how fly his sweaters was.
Listen, let me tell you.
I talked about the great doctor.
Look. Do you camera? Go on me. Something about. I don't know what that was.
That was iconic.
Iconic, you know what I'm saying?
Iconic.
Listen, when he talked about that barbecue sauce.
Hey, listen, man.
This is my barbecue sauce. Ain't time
know,
everybody get a little hibbity-dibbity in my barbecue sauce. He might have brought that to light, but that still rings true.
I mean, the funny thing about it is when they think about Kids Say, they think about Steve Harvey. Who was the first one to do that?
Man, listen.
That was the Jello Pudding Man.
So that was definitely Mr. Cos himself.
That was the Jello Pudding Man. That's who that was. Kids Say.
Today's episode is brought to you by Haulers Haven, revolutionizing the truck driver's experience at every stop. Make sure you follow the website at haulershaven.com and follow on all social media platforms. And make sure you use that hashtag Safe Stops Ahead. Storyline wise,
Talk to me.
It can't get more cohesive than it already.
And it exists.
Yeah.
These things happen.
Yeah.
These are not just fictional things. These are current events that happen to this day. Somebody's dad I know a person that has a doctor for a dad. Mm-hmm. I also know a person that has a lawyer for a mama. So the story behind that is you can make it.
Listen, you can make
it. You can make it.
And then when you make it.
And then when you make it.
You also have to make sure that your children make it as well. So
Where
you
my
got to put them into a place
Where my collection
that
plate?
they make it as well.
Yes,
Because
sir.
if I'm not mistaken,
Talk to
the
me.
last episode of the Cosby Show was Theo's graduation.
Hey.
You know the boy that they said was dyslexic. You know the boy who was doing that community service over there.
Yeah. The one with the shag.
Yeah,
He had a mother. He had the shag.
You know,
That's it.
within the very first episode, this is how the show becomes.
This is how the show. Yeah,
come on, now, this is how it be get complete now.
Y'all get your collection.
If I'm not
plate.
mistaken, the first episode,
Talk to me.
it was a conversation between Cliff and his son talking about, I'm getting D's in school because I just want you to accept me as a regular person.
Oof.
I just want you to accept me for just being me as a normal person. And you know what Cliff said? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You're going to go to school and you're going to learn these books because as long as you in this house and you eating my food, you will go to college.
Absolutely.
And what did he do in that last episode?
He sure went to college.
He went to college and he graduated.
He graduated. And the fact that he wasn't accepting the regular. Because there's somebody that we both know that don't accept regular.
What?
They're a little abnormal.
You got some lint on your shirt. Go ahead, get that lint off your shirt.
Hey, listen,
you know,
man.
listen.
Hey, man, you got a crease in your shoe.
Go ahead, get that crease in your shoe.
Hey, one part of your mouth is smiling more than the other.
If it's possible, could you? I know your shirts are novelty shirts, but can you at least iron those novelty shirts? You know, and I did for you. I did for you, boss. I did for you.
I did.
Now I gotta get this last one, and then I guess we're gonna throw a couple fire rounds because this is all black sitcom appreciation.
Talk
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta throw out honorable mentions.
Talk to me.
And before we get to the honorable mentions, I gotta say, because we let it into college, right?
Yeah.
There is no other show, and I mean there is no other show. I mean, we talking about College Hill, really? College Hill?
Yeah, that's a reality show for thoughts.
It's trash.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about that. That's trash.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Amber Rose came off of that, and it's trash.
Yeah.
When you speak of a show that talks about college, and I'm not talking about Saved by the Bell, the college years. No, we're not talking about that.
That was bad.
That was terrible.
That was bad.
Horrible.
Saved by the Bell high school was better than college.
It was.
Yeah.
But the college years, trash. But once again, black sitcoms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it real.
we
If we're
keep it
talking
authentic.
about the actual black HBCU experience,
Talk to me.
there's only one show that you need to show as a frame of reference.
Talk to me.
And that would be the Bill Cosby spinoff show itself was a different world. You know when Denise went to college, right? And she was being rebellious about not knowing what college to go to. In the show, The Cosby Show, which school did Cliff and Claire go to? Was that not Hillman College?
That was him in college, wasn't it? That was him in
So
college.
so when Denise said, I need to make a decision to go to which school, it was Hillman. Now, the reason why I show so much love to Hillman College,
Talk to me.
because I went to a school that they say it is similar. It is very close to, kind of could be. I went to Hampton University.
Did you really?
Odyssey, the place for you and me.
Go
It's
ahead,
going to
man.
cost you a lot of money.
Congratulations,
But what I tell you
brother.
is that Hillman, the show, the Hillman College was based on either Hampton or Howard University. It's either one of those two. That's what it
Rumor
was.
has it you met your wife there, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't meet her there. I didn't meet her. I had to go to another, but I met her at another HBCU.
Oh, so
know what I'm saying?
you upgraded.
I did.
Your grades was that good they had to get you to another college.
Well, Sally
You
Mae had
wasn't.
called.
Hey, listen,
she
man,
had called and said that
the
I
fact
owed her
that you
some
were
money.
so smart, they said we need to put this boy in another college.
I mean that.
Man, look at God.
Look, I had to make it way. I had to make a way, but Sally
Listen,
Mae
man.
didn't want to make it a way.
This is the debating show, but I'm going to give my brother some flowers that he went to 2 colleges.
I did.
And I went to 1.5.
Hey,
Go do that math.
The half.
Go do that
Well, the
math.
School of Hard Knocks taught me the most.
That's the one I went
The
to.
streets done taught me a lot.
I
You know what I'm
got
saying?
I got a PhD in streets.
Ooh, let me tell you.
Rolling dice?
Now, what I will tell you is, I gotta show love to a different world because that does explain the HBCU experience.
Yes, sir.
It also touched on subjects that the Cosby Show couldn't touch on. When it came to race and it came to the structure and how much hatred there was in the 80s, that different world episode weighs way more than the Family Matters episode where Eddie got stopped by the cops. That college episode, that one where the if I'm not mistaken, that was Dean Cain, right? Wasn't Dean Cain? Come on now,
Superman.
Come on. Is that not a cameo? Come on, mark another thing off the list when we talk about cameos.
Superman, yo.
Tupac was also in a different world.
Sure
Let me tell
was.
you.
Who was he in there with?
He was in there with what's that beautiful woman name? Jada. If I'm not mistaken, that was Jada. He was dating Jada.
Yeah.
He was dating Jada with the low cut. She even had the low cut at that time too. So I ain't trying to slap up in here. I'm going to give you the facts. But what
I'm going to keep your wife's name out my mouth.
They talked about race.
They did.
Listen, when we talk about different world, let's talk about the AIDS episode. Dude, who was giving that AIDS speech? Who gave that talk? You don't know, do you? You don't remember, do you? Oh, that was Tashina Arnold. Oh, that was early G.
Okay.
Come on now, we talking about cameos here, right?
Yeah.
We talking about actual cameos
Go
here.
ahead, man.
We are talking about this show and its cultural impact.
Yeah.
Bro, it can't get no better than that.
Listen, man, I got one for you. I gotta cut the ribbon on this new business.
Go ahead.
We're gonna give thanks to Chadwick Boseman, but he was also in a different world.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
No, he wasn't.
He was. He was the robber. He was. I'm gonna shoot this place up. I need y'all to back up from me.
Hey, yo.
He didn't do it like I would do it.
No.
See, the way I would do it, I need you to give it up smooth.
I'm checking that. I'm gonna have to fact check that one for sure.
Hey, he was in there, bro. Chadwick Boseman was in there, bro.
T'Challa was in there.
Hey, man, listen, man. He was in there.
You feel me?
You
feel me?
He was.
Now,
he was.
What I will tell you is, so I guess, we done knocked out a lot of them. T-Reid, I do want to see if we can run off a quick fire. What's a good honorable mention for you? What do you feel like we haven't mentioned?
Hey, listen, man.
That we need to talk about?
These
cultural black sitcoms.
These are a lot of things. These are a lot of things that I have, and they're called good times. Good times. JJ, Mr. Dynamite himself.
I knew it. I knew you was gonna go there.
Listen, man, the man himself. And listen, we're gonna give flowers to John Amos.
Rest in peace.
That was one of the best sitcom dads in Black history. Not just in sitcom,
Struggling
Black
father?
history.
Struggling father.
And
Oh, yeah.
listen, and he didn't look like he struggled. He was strong. He was
What you
strong.
mean he looked like he was struggling?
No, listen, man.
Listen, the ceiling was gone. Okay,
That-
this
but
was
see,
thinning.
He wore it because he was a man. He didn't care. I'm gonna walk around with the George Jefferson, and you're not gonna call me nothing but my name.
This is also the same man that was willing to move his family to Alaska,
Absolutely.
but his wife was like, "No, James, we're not moving to Alaska. You
Well,
should have shut up and got that money.
He should.
You should have shut up and got that money. Remember when they won the lottery?
They did.
Yeah,
They did.
They should have
They
kept
did.
that money and ran with it, right?
Hey, listen,
but
man.
what happened? You wanted to state it, man.
Listen, man, you can't. When family is oriented and cemented in that area, they may not know nothing else but that. Their children was born in that area.
Yeah.
Their first meal was cooked in that area. They fell in love in that area. How can you just throw that away?
Easy.
How can you
When
just
you
throw
find
that away?
out how much that property value is, when you find out how much that stuff costs.
We're not talking about me and you.
I'm just saying.
Because I would have left. I would have left.
what?
I'm talking about back then. That was in the 70s, wasn't it?
These walls is too greasy for me.
Hey, listen, man.
Y'all
Hey,
smoking
listen.
in here? Y'all smoking?
That man was
Smoking cigs.
Hey, listen, man, and JJ was such an iconic painter.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the theme song.
Ooh.
Keeping your head above water.
Come on now. Making a way when you can.
Temporary layoffs.
Good times.
Easy credit and rip-offs. Yeah, man,
Scratching and surviving.
that was a good time for me because I did that one time.
Listen, I thought he said hanging in a chow line, and I don't think that's what he's. I don't think he. I don't think that.
That's a good flip though.
I don't know what-
Because I hang in the child line a lot. I hang in the child line, as you can see.
I believe that.
I hang in the child line a lot, and I don't give a damn because I'm a man.
Because I'm a man.
Man.
My honorable mention
Yes, sir.
that
Talk
I
to
gotta throw in there. Good times is good.
Good times
it's
is good.
definitely good. But if I gotta throw in one of my favorite variety shows. I love sketch comedy.
Okay.
And I feel like one of the biggest pioneers and one of them shows that don't get enough credit and don't get enough love and they don't get it. And this is another love and shout out to the Wayans family.
Talk to me.
In Living Color.
Ooh.
When we talk about about all of these shows,
Black excellence.
and we talk about all of these characters and
Family
them
owned.
jumping into different
Yeah.
characters and
Yes.
and making somebody else, but the show is still the show.
Yes,
That comes from the variety
it does.
of a sketch comedy
Yeah.
show. If it wasn't for like Flip Wilson,
Right.
if it wasn't
right.
for the early SNLs, if it
Yeah.
wasn't for the Richard Pryor show,
yeah.
Richard Pryor show walked so that In Living Color could run.
Yes, sir.
But In Living Color ran,
Yeah.
and then all that decided to sprint. They took it and they used it for kids.
Yeah.
And they made it that way.
How
you know,
about that? Before all that, it was called Roundhouse. You remember Roundhouse?
do remember.
Do you remember the Roundhouse?
Come on now.
Man, sketch comedy at its best. Go ahead. I'm
Do
sorry.
you not remember a show where they said, In Living Color starting to fall off a little bit. We need to make it a little bit more crazier, a little bit more mad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mad TV. All
Mad
of those,
TV.
All of those are just
Yeah.
they're just branches.
That's their
off of
sons.
That
That's their
just little
sons.
babies.
Yeah.
Just little
That's
babies.
my sons.
When you think of when we think of In Living Color,
Oh yeah.
even if they talk about the controversial stuff and
Sure.
the stuff that was in there,
Sure.
they can't talk about the
Sure.
gay stuff and they can't talk about the transgender,
Right,
they can't
right.
talk about the special needs. But let's just talk about the actors and the cast that are in the show.
Oh, talk to me.
Because when we talk about In Living Color, we're not just talking about Keenan Ivory Wayans.
No.
No. We're not talking about Sean Wayans. We're not talking about Marlon
No.
Wayans.
We ain't talking about SW1.
We're not Damon Wayans. No. SW1, yeah. Come
That's
to find
Sean,
out,
yeah.
he really wasn't doing shit. He wasn't spinning the record.
No,
he wasn't even doing nothing. He just,
really. Okay.
Them records was just spinning by itself.
There you go.
Not to mention, no music was playing. They was just spinning.
Yeah.
The
And the Fly Girls. The Fly Girls.
You know, Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Carrie
She
Ann,
got to start. Yeah.
Carrie
Yeah.
Ann, one of the
Man.
top known dancers.
Absolutely.
Those are just the people that was just in the background.
Yeah. That in the background.
Come on now.
Who was in the forefront?
Let's talk about Tommy Davidson.
Ooh.
Let's
Guy
talk
from
about
DC, right?
Oh yeah. Let's talk about Jamie Foxx. Come on now.
Mr. Eric Bishop, aka Jamie Foxx.
Wait.
Got to start.
Wait. I forgot about sister Kim Wayans.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about. I forgot about my sister Kim.
She
Wayans.
had range.
She was definitely because
One of the funniest women that was in that time.
I ain't the one to gossip, but you ain't heard that from me. All I'm telling you is Kim Wayans was definitely one of those pioneers that was in that show. But come on now, out of a black sitcom, how is it possible that a black sitcom,
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
Show,
I know where
one
you're
of
going.
The blackest. I mean,
here comes the bomb.
You smelled the fried chicken
let me
when you
stop.
opened the door.
Go ahead,
But
drop
you
the
know
bomb.
who
Let me
was
stop.
one of the biggest stars that came
ahead, man.
out of that show?
ahead, man.
You can't watch The Grinch. You can't watch Dumb and Dumber. You can't watch Ace Ventura or When Nature Calls without saying you can't
Go
watch
ahead.
The Mask.
Yes.
Without naming Jim Carrey. And
Man.
you know that
Man.
funny white man
Listen.
was on one of the blackest shows in the late 80s.
Like the bottom of my shoe black.
You know that same man went on the SNL and did
Yes,
them
sir.
same faces and did all of that, and they said,
Oh, and they denied him.
I don't like that.
They denied him.
That's funny.
That's ridiculous.
That's good.
Ridiculous.
And you know what he did? He took that
Yeah.
and he ran.
Absolutely. But you know who discovered him though, right?
Who?
My man Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans said, listen, this man can come on stage and he can put himself in a knot. Just give him an opportunity to see him.
Just put his shirt in a knot. Listen.
Man.
Now, it's even though the subject is touchy,
Hey,
but the premise was really, really good.
It was.
Men on film.
Men on film.
If this was the late 80s, right? Was this heavy action?
Oh, yeah.
packed movies?
Oh, yeah.
Was these heavy
Oh, yeah.
war-related movies?
Oh yeah.
It was something where they was like, well, we can't really give it a woman's touch. Let's
Give
it a
let's
feminine.
give it a round snap. Hated it.
2 snaps in a circle. Come. Is that not innovation?
Innovation. I mean, did you see the hairpiece that Damon Wayans had on? That Joker was sitting on his head like this.
I love it when the hat. He
Yes,
had a
sir.
little hat and it just sat on the
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
And let's not forget who is still around to this day, who still does really well in movies and stuff like that. And
Talk
that's
to me.
David Allen Greer.
Ooh.
David Allen Greer does not get
One of my
the
one of
love.
my personal favorites.
Oh my God,
David, he is so hilarious.
He was one of those cats
Listen,
that
man.
was clean then. Like he was
Clean-
one,
right. He ain't
had the-
cussed that much, did he?
had the funny vibes.
Yeah.
But when I think of Clavel,
Yeah.
when
yeah.
I think of somebody who was part of Funky Finger Productions,
Yeah.
I think of David Allen Greer, man. Like,
Hey, man.
Listen,
David Allen Greer.
we can harp all day on that.
We
one.
can. But before you go any further,
Go
man,
ahead.
David Allen Greer in Blank Man.
Come on now.
Blank Man's brother.
He plays the straight man.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
He
the
said, you got
elephant-
to knock boots first. You a virgin.
You got to be with a woman first. You a virgin.
Virgin.
The elevator scene. The elevator scene.
What did he say?
I need you to hold my finger. Grab my finger.
No, my part is always.
Oh, he the bathroom. Oh, you thought I was talking to my Jimmy.
I can't play with you right now.
Right.
Listen, maybe later on, I'll whip it out. We'll test out all the bugs and the kinks. Like,
And what did she do? I thought about it, and I changed
I'm
my
gonna-
mind. Oh, you thought I was talking to my Jimmy.
you thought I was talking to
You
my
thought I was talking?
Jimmy?
No, I wasn't talking to my Jimmy.
David Allen Greer does not get enough love.
He
You
does
got any
not.
more? Because I got one more love that I got one more honorable mention, and I think that we both should show light on it at the same time because
You know what? I'm gonna be a gentleman unless you take that.
like, listen, I gotta be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? We talked about Sister. We started
did.
off with Sister.
We did.
Right? And they were wonderful twins.
Sure,
But they also had like a little brother.
they did.
Taj, when he was on that
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
oh man, he was like, yo, I don't know what that energy is. I like his energy.
Yeah.
They said, go ahead, let's give him a show. So my anchor and honorable mention
Smart guy.
is gonna be Smart Guy.
Smart guy.
Wait. Let's do theme songs. It's the spice of life. I'm talking T.J. Henderson, super intelligent, a fine young gentleman, a crazy little whiz kid, buzzing high school. Oh my God, he's got away with the ladies and he's keeping it real. Your favorite little study buddy, he knows the deal. I know the theme song is what I'm trying to tell you.
You
He's
sure
a
do.
smart guy.
Do 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 do.
Smart guy.
Yeah. I could do the background.
Hold on now. The reason why I gotta throw Smart Guy in there, because I swear I thought I was a smart guy. Because if I'm not mistaken, that show came out around the same time that I was like 9 to 11.
Yeah.
So I thought that I was like the smart kid. I wanted to be in high school at the age of 9 and 11. But I realized that is not good. That is problematic, because that means you would graduate at 14 and you're going to college at 15.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is, I mean, it was a good show and everything, but it was short lived. It was 3 seasons.
Yeah, I don't even think they got 100 episodes.
59 shows.
Yeah, they didn't get no episodes.
Yeah, I mean, but the fact of the matter is, it has so much potential because Omar Gooding, which is underrated in himself.
You mean Cuba brother?
Man, listen,
Cuba Gooding brother.
Listen, how many of us did? And I'm a tad. I'm a breath older than you.
Yeah.
How many people comment in the comment section? How many of you watched Wild and Crazy Kids?
I did.
Where you seen Omar Gooding's first appearance?
You know, T-Reid, I could talk to you all day about black shows and black sitcoms.
Absolutely, and I listen.
Listen, and I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? So what I will tell you is what we should do. Let's just put a pin in this.
Let's put a pin in it.
We might have to put a pin in this.
Yeah.
We might have to double back and go back and do like a top 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe do our because we both agreeing on it, but we might have to take this list and we gonna have to make it. We're going to break it 5.
down. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But until then, I think right now we can just go ahead and just leave it there. Hey, you right there. Before you leave, go ahead and throw a little comment in the comment section. Give us one of the shows. Did we miss one of your shows, or is there a show that you wanted to elaborate on? Do you feel like me and T-Reid didn't touch on it enough, or is it something that we brazed lightly on? You know what I'm saying? But because of that, I want you to. In the comment section, I want you to tell us who was your favorite. What was your favorite black sitcom? Who was your favorite black sitcom dad? Who was your favorite black sitcom mom? Who was your celebrity crush? I want all of that in the comment section. So after you then typed in who your favorite mom and dad and celebrity crush is and what shows we might have not hit, it really ain't gonna matter, because at the end of the day,
I call it how I see it.